How can a driver who hadn't completed a single lap all season suddenly become McLaren's benchmark at Suzuka, leaving both his team and his boss stunned? What Oscar Piastri did at the 2026 Japanese Grand Prix wasn't in anyone's plan. Not for Andrea, Stella, already aware of a deep technical crisis, and certainly not for Lando Norris, who had been the team's absolute reference until that moment. And the most astonishing part isn't just the result, it's what it reveals about McLaren's hidden potential. A car that seemed lost suddenly unlocked secrets that no one inside the team can fully explain. Stick around, because what McLaren discovered at Suzuka could redefine their entire season. The starting point of this story is crucial. Piastri didn't arrive at Suzuka as a driver on the rise. He arrived practically invisible in the championship, having failed to complete a single lap in the first 2 rounds. 2 retirements that didn't just damage his confidence, they left the team blind when it came to real race data. In Formula 1, every kilometer counts. And here's the first key element: McLaren's structural fragility. From the outside, they still looked like a championship-caliber team. Inside, however, the reality was harsh. Andrea Stella had publicly admitted that McLaren was facing mechanical issues and a total lack of understanding under the new 2026 regulations. It wasn't just that the car was slow, it was that the team didn't know why it was slow or how it would behave in race conditions. This also put Lando Norris in a difficult spot. He had carried the competitive weight of the team, but even his reference points were shaky. The data was limited, unreliable, and largely based on assumptions. McLaren wasn't racing with certainties, they were racing on guesses. That's why the context heading into Japan is so critical. Expectations were modest. No one was talking about challenging the leaders. The goal was simple: survive the weekend, gather information, and start understanding the car. But from Friday onward, subtle signs began to emerge. While Norris struggled with hydraulic issues, limiting his track time, Piastri started building something McLaren had been missing all season: continuity. Lap after lap, he produced a volume of data that allowed the engineers to see patterns and behaviors they had never noticed before. Here is the first narrative twist. For the first time this year, McLaren wasn't completely lost. Yet, no one fully understood why. And at the center of that contradiction was Piastri. Not yet the obvious hero, but the catalyst challenging everything the team thought they knew. Sunday was the true turning point. Showing pace in practice is one thing, sustaining it in the race is another. At the start, Piastri executed a near-perfect race. Clean laps, no mistakes, no sudden drops, no unexpected tire degradation. Lap after lap, his pace remained steady, controlled, and precise. The internal reaction was immediate. Andrea Stella wasn't just impressed with the driver, she was witnessing the car respond in ways that contradicted all previous data. The same McLaren that had struggled in Australia and China now performed predictably and competitively. Meanwhile, Norris watched from the sidelines, unable to intervene. His usual reference point had vanished. He was seeing performance where none existed before, and in Formula 1, that sparks questions fast. Piastri's consistency wasn't a fluke. Tire management, corner balance, stability under pressure, everything was aligning in ways the engineers hadn't predicted. This wasn't a race result. This was a revelation. McLaren's car had hidden potential that had never been tapped. For Stella, this opened a new path. Figure out what Piastri was doing differently, what he was feeling, and how he was extracting performance. For Norris, it created urgency. Recover that understanding, or risk falling behind inside his own team. Music. What began as just another race in a challenging season had transformed into something far more significant. Suzuka wasn't just about points, it was about discovery. McLaren had stumbled upon evidence that their car could perform far beyond expectations. The end of the race wasn't the true conclusion. The impact was internal, a paradigm shift in understanding the car. If Piastri could find that performance once, the question now was, could it be replicated? Suzuka changed more than positions on the track. It shifted the narrative. McLaren went from a team struggling in the dark to a team that had glimpsed a solution, and with it came pressure. Now they knew what was possible, and excuses were no longer an option. On the other side of the garage, Norris faced a silent challenge. He had been the team's reference, but Piastri had disrupted the hierarchy, not through failure, but by uncovering something previously hidden. In Formula One, these differences are never ignored. From this point on, the race isn't just against rivals, it's internal. Who can unlock the car's true potential first? Piastri went from unknown to technical benchmark, while Norris needed to rediscover the limits he once defined. The ultimate takeaway: Suzuka didn't just produce a race result, it opened a door. Piastri didn't just perform, he revealed a possibility that McLaren hadn't imagined. And now the big question remains: will this spark the team's recovery, or was it a fleeting moment that can't be repeated? When a driver like Oscar Piastri goes from 0 laps completed to becoming the reference for pace, this isn't just improvement, it's a paradigm shift. Stella's surprise is real and justified. A solution appeared that was nowhere in their simulations, now forcing the team to rethink everything. And Norris? The reference within the team is no longer obvious. With it comes new pressure, new dynamics, and a changed internal balance. Points and positions matter less than the questions Suzuka leaves behind. If Piastri can unlock this performance once, what happens when the team fully understands how to do it consistently? This wasn't just a race. This was the moment McLaren discovered a path forward. The moment everything began to change.